Hi, welcome to Fanboy Critic, our show where we go see new movies out in theaters and give you our review.
Both the good and the bad. I'm Joel Ortiz and I'll be your fanboy.
And I'm Sam McClure, I'll be your critic. This week on Fanboy and Critic, we went to go see Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, which is the part 1 of two-part finale for the series, starring Tom Cruise, Ving Rhames, Simon Pegg, Vanessa Kirby, Haley Atwell, Isai Morales, Tom Clementieff.
Wow, you're doing pretty good with this cast.
There's so many. The star-studded cast. And if you don't know what Mission Impossible is, it's a team of secret agents that do the impossible, and it's gotten ever more increasing in action over the years. All right, Jay, Christopher McQuarrie returning once again to helm this franchise off to its finale. What do you think he did well with Dead Reckoning Part 1?
I think he did a really good job at just keeping it original. You know, I feel like with their movies, they've always tried to push the limit on it, and I feel like they kept it at an even level. They didn't try to go over the top, because they already did all that in the past movies. They did a really good part in the storytelling for me. You know, I really like the plot of this, and the characters that appear in it, some are old, was great to see. You know, they really are making it a full circle, I guess you can say, somewhat. But the casting too, I mean, it was all the original characters, but the new girl in town, I don't know her name.
Haley Atwell?
Yeah, I thought she was really good. Her character,
Oh yeah,
her character was great. She played it so great. I mean,
he's phenomenal.
just thinking back to all their other movies, their casting is just good. They don't, you know, I don't know where they find these women, but they're great. But yeah, her character was really great. She definitely added to the story. And, you know, just going down the line, Tom Cruise, like, I don't know how he does it. You know, he's just, he is Ethan Hunt. He made this movie. He's such a good spy, you know, like everything he did in this, and we all know he does his own stunts, and it's just amazing. Yeah, I mean, Tom Cruise he killed it again. I don't have anything bad to really say. Maybe the jokes. I feel there was like a lot of random comedy at moments.
They interrupted a lot of the action with like little bits of jokes.
Yeah.
They did that in the other ones too, though.
Did they? I don't know, man. I feel like they did it.
Not the first two.
Yeah.
But after that, they started to.
Yeah, I think the random jokes were, I mean, some of them were funny, some of them didn't feel needed at all. But other than that, the story, the actors, it was good.
I think our audience just wanted to laugh because they laughed at parts that I didn't find funny or not supposed to be funny either. They were just normal parts of the movie, and parts of our audience were laughing. And I didn't think it was so silly that it warranted that. But I think there's a lot to be said for this franchise being inconsistent. If you think about the Brian De Palma, the first one, versus the John Woo one, the second one, and then was it J.J. Abrams did the third one?
Yeah.
They are all so disparate. So, like, you can't really know what to expect coming in, other than Tom Cruise is going to do a crazy stunt that probably does not need to happen. And, yeah, you get that. There's a lot of great acting. The movie is almost 3 hours long, and it does not need to be.
True.
There's a very fine point near 2 hour mark, which would be a perfect ending for a part 1. I guess I have the opposite problem of the other multi-finale endings that have all been happening lately, where I've said they just cut it off and there's no ending. This feels like they did the thing and the movie is over and they don't need a second part. This one ends it, and I'm just like, okay, so the movie is over. Why is there a part 2? So we'll see what happens in the second part.
God, this guy and his endings, nothing's good enough.
You have to have a good ending. A movie comes down to how you feel about it when you leave. And if you leave going, well, what are they going to do for the next part? They're just going to make stuff up. I mean, it's all making stuff up. My other criticism of the Mission Impossible series is they're always going along with whatever the villain of the day is for the rest of the, whatever's in pop culture. They don't come up with their own thing. So the last two have been like nukes. The ones before that, like global nukes. The ones before that, global pandemic, biological weapons.
Yeah.
Like, it's always the the villain plot device of the day that they're just copying off of everybody else. And I don't think this one's any different. I don't think they've struck upon anything new. I mean, it's sort of a new concept. I'm not trying to spoil it. They've struck upon like a new concept, but they are far from the first people to do it. And they're basically just latching on to current anxieties that are happening in most forms of media are cautious about this villain's plan. And I think they stumbled onto a good premise for like a Black Mirror episode, but they explored it in the most like sophomoric, like not smart way. I don't know. I wasn't impressed with the exploration of the premise and all the things that theme could go and take us. And that's spoiling it too much. Like, the villain is supposed to be super smart, like smarter than anybody else, a step ahead of everybody, smarter than anybody else. And the plan just doesn't make sense half the time. The plan is just, I know where you're going to be at all times, even though there are definitely parts of the movie directly that the characters take that are random actions. And then suddenly the villain's there at the end of like a random choice of left and right turns. And then there's the villain. Nobody can predict that they're just going to randomly choose these passageways. Nobody.
The villain gap.
Convince the critics out there to go see another Mission Impossible movie.
Critic.
You've seen all the rest.
True, yeah. You've definitely seen all the rest, but you know what you're getting with Mission Impossible. Who doesn't want to see Tom Cruise run?
There's a lot of running.
Yeah, they definitely emphasized his running in this one. Like, they knew what the fans were talking about, and they emphasized. But no, I mean, it's a Mission Impossible movie. It's action-packed. It's super exciting. It's going to leave you on the edge of your seat. I mean, it's just an exciting movie, and you've seen the rest, so finish it off and just call it a day.
Here's the deal. When Brian De Palma set us off on this adventure, I don't know, why is it almost 30 years ago? Yeah, it's close to 30 years ago. This was not what we all signed up for. We signed up for spy thriller. This is not spy thriller. This is just straight up, just like popcorn action movie. There's not the nuance. There's not anything interesting like at play. Like, I wanted spy thriller when I got into Mission Impossible. I got spy thriller, and then I lost it, and then it kind of came back a little bit, but then it's just out the window now. It's just out the window. Okay, Jay, it brings us on to our ratings. How did you feel about this movie?
I absolutely loved it.
Really?
Yeah, I loved it. Yeah,
All the way at the top.
All the way at the top.
Oh,
you know, I actually, as a Mission Impossible fan, came in with really low expectation. Like, he should give it up, hang it up, just stop making these movies. And I think that's what brought me up so high. Like I said, I really enjoyed the story. I enjoyed Tom Cruise. Like, maybe it's just been so long. I think, when was the last one? In 2018? I think 2018. Maybe that hiatus of not having, Ethan Hunt on the big screen did it for me. But yeah, I mean, it was a Mission Impossible movie that I was hungry for. So yeah, I loved it.
I think I'm just gonna give this a Y.
Whoa.
I think that's the biggest gap. I think
I know, it was a pretty big gap.
I didn't find anything particularly special about this movie.
True.
I didn't find the stunts as like amazing as a lot of the other stunts that he's done throughout the series. I didn't find the premise. The premise was okay, and I think they could have taken it interesting places, but ultimately it ended up being like flavor of the month, vanilla, basic villain plan, because they didn't explore it thoroughly. And I mean, the acting's fine. There's not much to act. It's action. Haley Atwell's phenomenal. But
yeah.
Ultimately, it's just it's too long. They made it way too long. There's a lot more complications than there needed to be. A lot of convolutedness, a lot of storylines, story threads that did not need to exist. There's good things about this movie, but ultimately, I'm like, why? Why? For me, I don't know where it's leading, because the second part is not gonna resolve it better than the first part. It's just gonna add more complications. and then resolve it again to the resolution it was already at the end of this part.
All right, fanboys.
All right, fanboys and critics, thanks for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment below. Check out our Patreon if you want to support the channel. Join the Discord, and we'll see you next week for Barbie.
And we'll see you and you for the next review.
Is he a good spy, though? Because everybody seems to know his name. That's not what a good spy does.
No, that's kind of true, huh?
Unless Ethan Hunt is not his real name.
Who knows? Tom.